Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Today we're reading from chapter number 11 of Bhagavad-Gita as it is, entitled The Universal Form. And we're reading text 2 and text 3. 2 and 3. Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shrutam vistaraso maya. It's right in the left corner. The bookshelf right in the left has got more books. Svata kamala patraksha mahatmyam apichavayam Eva matat yatatatvam Atmanam parameshvara Drashtam machami te rupam Aishvaram purushottama Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamala patraksha Mahatmyam apichavyayam Evam etat yatatatvam Atmanam parameshvara Drashtam michami te rupam Aishvaram purushottama Bhavyapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamala patraksha Mahatmam apichavyayam Evam etat yatatatvam Atmanam parameshvara Drashtamichami te rupam Aishvaram purushottamam Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamala patraksha Mahatmyam apitavayam Atmanam parameshvara Drashtamichami te rupam Aishvaram purushottamam Bhavyapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamala patraksha Amahatmyam apichavyayam Evam etat yatatatvam Atmanam parameshvara Drashtamichami te rupam Aishvaram purushottama Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamala patraksha Mahatmyam apichavayam Evam etat yatatatvam Atmanam Parameshvara Drashtam Ichami Te Rupam Aishwaram Purushottamam. Bhava, appearance. Apyayo, disappearance. He, certainly. Bhutanam, of all living entities. Shruto, have been heard. Vistarashaha, in detail. Maya, by me. Tvattaha, from you. Kamala Patra Aksha, O lotus-eyed one. Mahatmyam, glories. Api, also. Cha, and. Avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Sri Prabhupada. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Please repeat, O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower, out of his joy. For Krishna has assured him in a previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralayastata. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. Text number 3, translation. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Please repeat. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Purport. The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna. But in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore he knows the desire of Arjuna and can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, For Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion, for in the future there would be so many impostors who would impose themselves as incarnations of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Malitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Svapadantikam Vandayaham Sri Guruho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Navaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhavapya Yohi Bhutanam Shruto Vishtarasho Maya Tvata Kamala Patraksha Mahatmyam Apichavyayam Evam metat yatata tvam atmanam parameshvara drashtamicchami te rupam aishvaram purushottama. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Hare Krishna. So Arjuna began in this beginning of this chapter by saying, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that the illusion being dispelled is that Arjuna has realized that Krishna is not just a human being like himself. He's realized him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the 10th chapter, we had the Chatur Shloki of the Bhagavad-Gita, where Lord Krishna gives us the essence of the Bhagavad-Gita, the essence of devotional service. The Acharyas describe how it's Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So Arjuna is now saying that he has realized Krishna's position as being the source of all spiritual material worlds. So the process of devotional service will follow from that realization. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Matchita matkata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantas chamam nicham tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam tadani buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Tesham eva nukam partam aham agyana jam tamaha nashayam yachabhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So at that point in the Bhagavad-Gita, Arjuna had realized Krishna as the Supreme Personality Godhead. And then he had asked him to show his opulences. So Krishna has 6 main divisions of opulences. But as is also described by Krishna, actually his opulences are unlimited and innumerable. So an opulence is basically the way his energies are expressed. And when Krishna is describing these opulences, he is showing how no matter what there is in this, even the material world or the spiritual world, Krishna actually is the possessor of all opulences. Whatever is exhibited in this material world or the spiritual world that is wonderful is just a spark of Krishna's actual opulence. So he went through a whole list of great and wonderful living entities and things in this material universe and described how he is the greatest of them. He is represented by the greatest of them. It's not that he is these things, but the opulences of these things are just a fraction of his opulences. So by that, in this verse number 2, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport how now Arjuna is feeling joyful, and therefore he addresses Krishna as lotus-eyed one. So we know when we see the deity in the temple that Krishna has lotus eyes. Srila Prabhupada explained that we think of Krishna as if he's got a form like ours. But actually even the Christians will say man is made in the image of God. It's not that Krishna's got a form like ours, but we have a form that's similar to his. He's given us that blessing so that we can, in the human form of life, have a better chance to come into relationship with him. Because there are millions and millions of different types of living entities, and not all of them have a human-like form, a form that resembles in some way the form of Krishna. So it's a special blessing for those of us in a human form of body that we can relate to Krishna. So it's also said by the Acharyas that there are 3 main incarnations. Of course there are Shaktivesh avatars as well, who are in a human-like form like Vyasadeva and Parashuram. But there's Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, and even to some extent Lord Narasimhadev, who's not entirely human-like. But these are deities that it makes us easier to relate to, because we can find it easier to establish a relationship. But Lord Krishna has the lotus eyes that we can't claim to have. Prabhupada was very particular when he was establishing the deity to show what the lotus eyes looked like and make sure that we could see those lotus eyes on Krishna. So you'll find the deities have nice big eyes that you can see even from a long distance. And even though you're standing at the back of the temple, you can see the deities and you can look at them and you can start to establish the relationship. So this is deity worship in a form for those of us who are not on the altar. Deity worship is not just for those who are on the altar. Deity worship is for everyone coming to the temple. That's why Prabhupada said he established for people who live far from the temple that they could engage in deity worship in their homes. But he has stated in some places that he prefers, if people live close to the temple, that they treat the deity in the temple as their deity. So the deity, if you're not a pujari on the altar, then your deity is coming to the aratis, is singing and glorifying the Lord, is just establishing that relationship with him, just looking at him and expressing appreciation to him, offering prayers to them and bringing some offering for them. Attending the festivals is a very important one. Prabhupada established all of these festivals. In some places you'll find that he's describing where they had little resources. He says, at least you have Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Narasingh Chaturdasi and Gaur Purnima. That's absolute minimum. As well, and as many more festivals as we can celebrate, we should be celebrating. So this is part, as a general congregation members, this is our deity worship, is to serve the deities in the temple and to establish that relationship with the deities in the temple. So then it's described that these deities in the temple will actually take the place of Paramatma in our heart. The deity becomes our Ishtadev. He situates himself in the heart, on the lotus flower in our heart. So then we establish that relationship with Krishna and we can relate to him. Some people are a little afraid that we become sahajias if we try and make a relationship with Krishna. And of course, it's a very difficult balance. But some of our senior devotees, some of senior Prabhupada's senior disciples, have explained that this establishing the relationship with Krishna is absolutely imperative. It's what we're here for. Prabhupada's disciple Mukunda Datta always recites, Prabhupada asked the devotees, the devotee asked Prabhupada, how do you know if Krishna is pleased with your service? So Prabhupada replied, when he tells you. So this is our ultimate realization. We know also from the stories of the Goswamis, they were talking with the deities. So this relationship between us and the deity can be as exciting as this relationship between Krishna and Arjuna. So the 10th chapter had described how we see Krishna's opulences everywhere in the material world. And Prabhupada also explains that's how the advanced devotee thinks. He doesn't just see Krishna's Leela in his meditation. Actually, he sees the entire material world as being part of Krishna's opulences and part of Krishna's energies that are therefore to be used in his service. So the advanced devotee is never upset to be in the material world because he's always seeing that there's an opportunity for service. We see here in the purport to the second verse how Prabhupada is saying that Arjuna is seeing that he needs to do more in terms of preaching, in terms of making it possible for other people to realize Krishna. So Arjuna is coming to that level where he wants to preach. He wants to do something for other people. He wants to establish firmly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we can't have so many cheaters, so that cheaters can be discovered by those who are sincere and want to find them. Of course, Prabhupada said that this world is a place of the cheaters and the cheated. There was one quote just recently that was circulated. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, how many of the devotees coming to you have been cheated by fake gurus? And he says, it's not a matter of counting how many, it's all of them. Everywhere in this material world, there are fake gurus. He said, Manushyanam sahasreshu, out of many, many millions of people, hardly a few are interested in spiritual life. And of those who are interested, almost all of them are being cheated by bogus gurus. But Prabhupada said, if they're sincere, when they become sincere, then Krishna will help them. So here is a part of the plan to help them. Arjuna is requesting to see the universal form in order to establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, in this material world, logic and proof don't always change someone's mind. For the impersonalists, they won't accept any argument. I was looking up in the Chatusloki of the Bhagavatam, the first verse of the Chatusloki. What is it? Evam avasam evagre, nanyad yat sad asat param, paschad aham yad etach cha, yo vasishyeta somyaham. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was their material nature the cause of this creation. What you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So in the purport to this, Srila Prabhupada explains that the impersonalists will take this verse, which is a conversation between Brahma and Lord Vishnu. So there are two eyes. There is one eye speaking and there is another person who is listening. And then they will try and manipulate it to say there's only one eye and it's the impersonal and it's all pervading. So Prabhupada is saying that the logic won't reach them. It is clearly that Lord Vishnu is speaking and then someone called Lord Brahma is listening. So there is a speaker and there is a hearer. There are definitely two personalities in the conversation. But the impersonalists won't even hear that. They will still insist that this is talking about some great impersonal I that we can all become. So, but Prabhupada here is saying that Arjuna is requesting on behalf of the people in general that Krishna shows his universal form so that others who are sincere will be able to determine who's a cheater and who's not. Because always there are cheaters. But if we're sincere, then we can see a cheater. So the other thing in the purport in the first verse, Srila Prabhupada is talking about how in the 9th chapter, Krishna has explained how he is all-pervading, and yet he is not personally present everywhere. So this is another thing that is difficult for us to realize. But Prabhupada gives a very nice example for that. He explains how the king or the prime minister, he is in charge of the whole kingdom. So therefore his influence is spread everywhere. He has so many departments. He has a tax department, a police department, a correctional institution, educational institution. And his influence is seen in all those different departments. But actually he's not personally present in all the departments. He says in the same way that Krishna is in control of the entire universe, but he's not personally present. But he is present, as it's explained in the following verse, in the same verse, that how he is present even within Arjuna's heart. So he is present in his expansion as the Paramatma. So it's not entirely an impersonal presence. The Paramatma we can relate to. The yogis, of course, meditate on the Paramatma. They don't have much of a relationship with him. They meditate on him or in ignorance. But as I explained earlier, when you develop your relationship with the deity, then the deity takes the place of Paramatma, and you can actually establish the relationship with Paramatma. So Krishna becomes close to you, very close to you. He's within you, and he can communicate with you. Prabhupada explains how Krishna is, it's like if you're talking to somebody and they don't pay any attention, they just carry on looking at their iPhone or at their computer or at the television, and you're talking to them, you will just lose interest in trying to talk to them. You know they're not paying attention. So Srila Prabhupada said that it's like that with Krishna. He tries to communicate with us, but if we don't respond, if we completely ignore him, then he will stop communicating in the meantime. But he says if we show some small interest, oh, this person is trying to learn about me, then Krishna says, then Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna becomes much more keen than we are to try and help us to establish that relationship. So we show some small interest and he gets very excited. Prabhupada said it's just like if we hurt our finger. Although it's a small part of our body, we feel that hurt. So he says in the same way that we are a tiny fragmental part of Krishna. But because we're ignoring him, because we're suffering in this material world, because of our forgetfulness of him, he feels it. He wants us to come back to him, and he wants to establish that relationship. So Prabhupada says how much happy he will feel if we actually turn to him and take his help. Okay, we'll look in this second purport a little more. Okay. The Lord has said that because he has entered into the material universe by his personal representation, that the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. So the cosmic manifestation begins with the Mahatattva, but it only becomes activated upon the glance of Lord Vishnu. And so that glance carries Sadashiva to begin the process of creation via the material energy. So Krishna's personal will is involved as a catalyst. He is not personally doing everything, but without his glance as a catalyst, nothing will happen. Nothing will be created, nothing will be maintained, and nothing will be destroyed. Of course, he has so many representatives doing this service for him. Brahma takes the role of a secondary creator. He has his Vishnu expansions who take the role of maintenance, and he has Lord Shiva who takes the role in destruction. So then Prabhupada spends the most of the rest of the purport talking about how Arjuna wants to show for the people in general. Okay. And Arjuna did not have any personal desire for seeing the universal form. Of course, we know that later in the chapter, after Arjuna has seen the universal form, he's frightened of it. Srila Prabhupada says that of course anybody would be frightened to see the universal form. Krishna says to Arjuna before he shows the universal form, anything you want to see, you will be able to see in this universal form. So Arjuna wanted to understand the outcome of the battle, because in the beginning of the Bhagavad-Gita he had been hesitant to engage in the battle because he was thinking about all of his relatives, his friends, his seniors, his worshipful masters, how they were all going to be engaged in the war and probably most of them killed. In fact, they were almost all killed. So he was reluctant at that. But by seeing the universal form, he came to the realization that, and Krishna actually told him, that everything is being carried out by Krishna's will anyway, and that Arjuna himself can only be the instrument. There's a very nice quote that I saw just today from Srila Prabhupada. He said, Lord Chaitanya predicted that the holy name will be spread in every town and village around the world. So why not take advantage and become an instrument and take the credit for it? And Lord Chaitanya has predicted it. He is Krishna himself, so it will happen. So become the instrument, take advantage and take the credit, and don't just leave it for somebody else. So in the same way, Krishna had been telling Arjuna, you can be my instrument, so you can take the credit. If you don't act in this war, it will happen anyway. These people will die anyway, but you won't get the credit. So why not be my instrument? Why not surrender to my will and be my instrument? And then you get the credit as well. Krishna desires for all of his devotees to take the credit, to look wonderful. He wants to show them also to the people in general, so that other people can see how wonderful devotees are and how they can also aspire to associate with them and to become like them. And Prabhupada says at the end of the purport how there are so many imposters or incarnations of God, but if the people in general can understand that the incarnation of God can actually do wonderful things, not that he does it on demand, not that we demand for some miracle and he will just do it. God is not there just to satisfy our whims. He is not there just because we are doubtful. He comes to those who are sincere. So those who are sincere, who want to see Krishna's opulence, he will reveal it. But it's not that we just say, Krishna, I want to see your opulence right now. Come here now, otherwise I won't believe in you. Then we're a doubting soul. We're a faithless person. And what do we deserve? Why Krishna should show himself to us? Srila Prabhupada also gives the example that we can't just go and demand to see the Prime Minister, the President. We have to make an appointment. We have to be qualified. Not everybody can just walk in and see him. We have to be qualified and we have to show our sincerity, and then we can take an appointment to see him. So in the same way, Krishna is not just going to come down because we demand it, but he will, if we are sincere, he will allow us to understand who is the bona fide authority who can take us to him. Lord Krishna has been described as being the property of the devotees. So therefore, the only way to get Krishna is to serve the devotees. So we have to serve the devotees. We've already had the process in the Bhagavad-Gita earlier, where Krishna said, Tadvidi pranipatene pariprashnena sevaya. In order to learn the truth, you approach a spiritual master. You serve him. You inquire from him submissively. And in that way you'll learn the truth. So this is our process. The two things that are the most important in our devotional life are the association of devotees and the chanting of the holy name. They both go together. We can't actually advance I was listening to a class by Madhavananda. He's just given some classes in Canada, and he was giving class from a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it says that these two, the holy name and association of the devotees, go hand in hand. We begin with a little faith, which attracts us to association of the devotees. By this association, we will just take up the chanting of the holy name. By chanting the holy name sincerely, then we'll get some taste for higher association. And from that higher association, we will get some better taste for chanting the holy name. So from one to the other, chanting the holy name and the association of the devotees will promote us to advance in both ways. So these most important things are there. So that's why it's important for us to learn from the Bhagavad-Gita how to find these sincere devotees, how to get rid of these imposters, these people who will cheat us, by promising quick results, fantastic things, material happiness. These things are temporary. We need to study so we understand fully that these things are temporary, and that someone who is simply offering us these are offering, as like Prahlad Maharaj said, broken pieces of glass when we could have the diamond. So we need to find those sincere devotees who are offering the diamond, and we need to remain sincere in the path so that we can find that diamond. So this understanding of this studying of the universal form, even though, as Prabhupada says, the devotees don't actually want to see the universal form, but by studying the universal form, we will learn to find out how to find the sincere devotees who will show us Krishna as he is. The devotees are just as excited by learning about Krishna's actions in creating this whole material world as they are about Krishna's Leela. They're interested in killing demons, not just about playing with the gopis. Because all of the things that Krishna does are wonderful, even what he does in this material world. I remember I had someone who was trying to preach Mayavad impersonalism to me, and telling me that I was imagining everything that was in this material world. The idea was that everything that I could see was a figment of my imagination, and when I came to full realization, I'd realize that, and then I'd become nothing. But I just looked around, and you can see a tree and the wonder of the trees and the wonder of the flowers and the wonder of nature, and I said, my imagination can't create that. My imagination's not that good. So by this simple realization, this simple logic, we can understand that what they're saying is absolutely ridiculous. Even from my personal experience, I might think I'm wonderful, but I don't think I'm that wonderful. So we could realize that I didn't create this so much of detail just to find out I was nothing. If I really wanted to just do that, I might say have a small, minute view of the world, but I wouldn't create all this variety in nature that has nothing to do with this purpose. So by sincere inquiry, we will come to the perfect realization, but only with the help of the devotees. By ourselves, we can become bewildered so easily by all of these cheaters. But if we become sincere, then Krishna will help us. And we have to take advantage of that association and not just become sentimental about some small thing that we may not like. Realize that everything is temporary and take advantage of the association and make the best of us. And then we can all learn to re-establish this relationship with Krishna and be excited in the association of the devotees. Okay, so does anyone have any comments or questions in relation to this class? Hare Krishna Prabhu. Microphone is there. Hare Krishna.
Just like our relation with Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna. But sometimes we feel that we are separated from Him. Why we are separated from Him, we do not know, because He is within our heart.
Yeah.
But then also the separation is so that we cannot concentrate on Him or concentrate thinking of Him. So this disturbance is always coming in our lives. So you see, the pure devotee, Prabhupada was a pure devotee. After that, there are some devotees, they are pure just like Prabhupada, but still, even chanting, they themselves, they agree that sometimes there is no love for Krishna. So what is holding us back that we cannot remember Krishna continuously and think about Him?
So in the 15th chapter, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisani vishtu mata smritiya jnanam apohanam cha. In the beginning, Krishna allows us to forget Him because we want to forget Him. And we've been here in this material manifestation for millions and millions of lifetimes. We've had this habit of forgetting Krishna. He's allowed us because we want to. So yeah, but even for the advanced devotees, this feeling of separation is part of our sampradaya. You read the Goswami's writings, they say, where is Krishna? I don't see Krishna, where is Krishna? Those who think they have Krishna with them all the time, they will not get such a high rasa. It's like the queens in Dwarka. They have a conjugal rasa. But because they think of Krishna as their husband, they have a sense of possessiveness. They know Krishna is there. But the relationship is heightened in the relationship of the gopis because they don't own Krishna. They never even think they own Krishna. Sanatana Goswami describes how the gopis' expression is complete and utter dainya, humility. That they never ever think that they're Krishna's favorite. So they're always in anxiety. They're always thinking, I'll never be able to please Krishna. I don't know what to do. So it's not bad for us to be in anxiety sometimes that we can't remember Krishna. It keeps us wanting to try. Even Srila Prabhupada, he told the devotees, I will never fall prey to Maya. And then later the devotees saw him in front of the deities praying, and they said, Prabhupada, what were you praying about? And he said, I'm praying that I will never fall prey to Maya. And the devotee said, but you said that you wouldn't fall prey to Maya. And he says, no, because I'm always praying that I don't want to. So in this way, this worry about forgetting Krishna, this worry about Maya taking over us, is also the strength of our advancement. Because if we become complacent, then Maya will take us and we'll think that we're just doing well all by ourselves, and we'll just slip away. Maya is very cunning like that. Of course, the mind is difficult to control. Arjuna already said that, and for most of us, we're not advanced devotees yet, and we do struggle to remember Krishna. And it is a struggle. And the more you listen to the devotees speaking, the more you realize how universal this struggle is. It's not just me, and it's not just you, and it's everybody has this struggle. It's part of the process and part of the purification. We've been here for so long that we would be extremely grateful and extremely lucky to make it home by the end of this lifetime. So don't expect to become a pure devotee next week. It'll take at least to the end of the lifetime. And we've got Prabhupada's promise, of course. Prabhupada said, just hang on to my dhoti and I'll take you back to Godhead. And he says, don't worry if you don't think you're qualified, because I've got the back door key. So no one else has given a promise like that. So we should just keep Prabhupada's promise and keep holding on to his dhoti very tightly. And he will help us. Prabhupada also said at one time, the devotees were saying, this dying is so difficult, I don't think I'll be able to remember Krishna at the point of dying. Prabhupada said, don't worry, Krishna will remember you. Because if we sincerely try to remember Krishna during our lifetime, he'll help us at that point of death. Prabhupada said he'll come and get us also. Anything else? Any other comments, questions? Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.